Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Future Justice Talks. I'm 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗓 and I'm student at 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗧 School Online Academy, where I learn about leadership, confidence, and much more. Today, we are honored to have Dr. Matthews, medical strategist investor, business consult, world civility ambassador, and royal advisor in Ghana. He is the founder of Media Boss and leader at the Exit School, helping professionals steps into businesses ownership and strong visibility. Dr. Matthews, it's really great to have you today on Future Justice Talks, and I welcome you. Thank you so much for giving me your precious time. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful today. How are you?
I'm also fine. Thank you so much for asking. So, Dr. Matthews, without wasting our time, let's go to our questions. So, Dr. Matthews, your work spans media, investing, and global leadership.
hmm
So, can you please share
hmm
how your journey began and what shaped your path?
Sure. I started in media back when I was in college. I first thought I wanted to be an architect, but architecture was not for me. And I didn't know what to major in. And it was suggested to me by my sister that I go into media because she said, well, you always liked television, you always liked radio. And honestly, I thought, well, everybody liked television and radio. So I didn't think of it as something I should major in. But I did anyway. And she was right. My grades shot up. Everything was. I had fun. I had a lot of stress off of me because I was enjoying myself. And then I started doing other things in media while I was in college. I started hosting TV shows in college. I started doing internships. I started was calling the football and basketball games on the radio, and I was just doing a lot of stuff in the media in school. And when I got out of school, I got a job at the number one news station in Washington D.C. as the assistant director. Then moved up to New York and worked with CBS Sports as well. And it's been a fun journey. I now I do things only for myself. I don't work for those corporations anymore. But it was a fun journey getting there.
It's so amazing that how your journey starts. I really enjoyed it. So, Dr. Matthews, what major decision or turning point that had the greatest impact on your career?
It's funny. I've had several. One was actually getting fired. I got fired from CBS Sports, that was my dream job. That was a turning point for me. But another turning point was actually finding a career in the network marketing industry, which led me to realize that I don't have to get fired. I can control what I do by working. So that put the entrepreneurial bug in me. So I started doing that. And another area happened later where I was introduced to it. Well, I was hosting a show, a radio show, and I met a gentleman on the show who later ended up being the voice of civility in the world. And as you mentioned in my bio, that I work with an organization called I Change Nations. Well, the founder of that organization, Dr. Clyde Rivers, his impact on me has been so instrumental as to where he made me a World Civility Ambassador with him. So I'm working on a media strategy right now for civility. I'm writing a book on that as well. And also, he was named a king, and he actually asked me to be one of his royal advisors. So that happened too. This is all because of the relationship with this gentleman. So it's a lot of turning points in my life, and it seems that as long as I keep living, God will keep giving me different turning points.
Oh, so you got fired and you learned the biggest thing, the turning point that become the turning point in your life. That's so amazing.
hmm
Matthew, so from working in television to leading your own media company, how has the idea of influence changed over time?
That's a great question, Sunny. One of the biggest things that has happened in media now is that media is now accessible. I mean, you look right now, like you're doing a podcast right now, you don't need anybody's help to do it. You can do it yourself. You can just set up everything, set your own computer up, set your lights, set your microphones. You can do, and you can set up and have it go out to the masses just like that. You can do it. People are shooting a movie with a cell phone now, so, and it's that simple that, so media is now accessible. It used to be that people who wanted to be on television, radio, or be written about would have to hope someone called their name. They'd have to find someone who saw that their work was valuable enough to where someone would call on them and say, "Hey, would you like to be on my TV show? Hey, would you like to be on my radio show? Hey, would you like to be in my book or in my article?" Now, you don't need anybody. You can do it yourself. And media is more accessible. And that's usually the area of people that I target, the people who realize that now you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to wait anymore. So it's up to you now to do. So that's the biggest change that I think is that it's so much more accessible to people.
Yeah, it is a change now, and I actually look at it now, and yeah, nice. So, Matthews, why do you believe uh, buying an existing business can be smarter than starting one from start?
Well, yeah, that's one of the things that I learned from one of my friends, Amy Walker. Amy and I used to be on the speaking stages together, and I talked to Amy a couple of years ago, and she said that now what she does is she buys businesses. And she said this is a secret that's been kept from a lot of people for years because that's where the money is. It's not in necessarily, starting something from scratch because sometimes it's harder. And I'll give an example someone gave to me, and they were talking about buying, I forgot what type of business were they talking about. I think it was a storage business. And they were talking about starting a storage business. And they said, why start one? There are storage businesses out there every day, and they're for sale. Buy one that's already working, buy one that's already profitable, and you can see, where the market's coming from, how you can improve upon it, things like that, instead of starting it from scratch and having to learn the ropes the hard way. So it's just, I think it makes more sense if someone has a business that's already working and it's for sale. Just buy the business instead of starting from scratch. And a lot of the sellers will work with you to help make sure that that happens.
Oh, wow, buying a business, amazing. So, Dr. Matthews, moving to my next question that you
Hmm.
have worked inside major media
Hmm.
networks and later build your own platforms. What did corporate media teach you that entrepreneurship could not?
Well, corporate media taught me it's a very cutthroat business. A lot of people will do a lot of things to get ahead, and some of them, are considered unethical. Some of them maybe even illegal. That's one thing it taught me, but it also taught me that it's always moving. It is always moving, and something that I think I still could have learned that in on, but I couldn't have learned how difficult it can be on my own. I had to go through that, and it taught me to be tough. It taught me to be tough. So when the entrepreneurial side came, I was already toughened up. I don't because being fired from your dream job will toughen you up, and you may not want it, but it'll toughen you up. And I remember one of my college professors telling me that you haven't worked in television until you've been fired. So, so once I got fired, I said to myself, "Well, I've worked in television now." So it was it was hard at first, but I got over it pretty quickly. Because I had to move on, and it toughened me up. So that's what it taught me is about being tough.
Oh, that's an amazing lesson you've learned all over, like in your journey. Amazing. So, as someone who advises leaders and reality, what is one truth about leadership that most people misunderstand?
I think a lot of people think that leadership is telling people what to do and getting them to follow you. And I don't agree with that at all. I think leadership is developing other people into leadership. Once you can get someone else to lead other people and teach and they know how to show other people how to lead, that's leadership. Because if you can leave a lineage of people behind you that have learned from you and learned how to lead, then you've really done your job as a leader.
Wow, that's amazing about leadership. I have never known about that. I always think that leadership is just leading people and giving them orders, do this, do that, do this, and managing all
Uh, a,
things.
a great leader has developed other leaders. That's a
Oh,
great leader has developed other leaders. You think about some of the great people throughout history, and they have developed other people who have followed behind them that have led other people as well. That's a sign of a great leader.
yeah, that's so amazing, and it blew my mind. So, Matthews, how do you elevate whatever an opportunity aligns with your long-term vision rather than short-term success?
Wow, my long-term vision. Well, working along with I Change Nations and developing the civility platform, that's a long-term vision because I'm trying to promote civility around the world. So right now, I'm working on civility in media platform, and I'm also working on a civility in sports platform as well. And we're working on some things to help it make it so people can be more civil in sports. And also, I'm working on a civility in the travel industry. So what we're trying to do is get people around the world to travel and experience different cultures so that we can learn more about each other, so we can have more of a civil discourse with one another. So I'm working on those three platforms right now. Those are long-term goals. I mean, it's something we can implement soon, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Because it's going to take a while to get everyone to start working on a civil plane with one another. You're muted. Oh,
Sorry.
there you go.
So, yeah, it's so amazing. So, Matthews, what does power mean to you? Influence, responsibility, or something else?
Say that one more time.
I asked that what does power mean to you? Influence, responsibility, or something else?
What does power mean to me? Hmm. Power is, I guess it doesn't mean that much to me because, in my opinion, God is the only power. So if it's not coming from God, then it really doesn't mean anything. Man doesn't have any power. Man thinks they have power. Man seeks out power, but man doesn't really have power. I mean, the thing is like you and I could we could disappear right now. Man isn't doing that. God can do that. So we don't really have any power. So I think it's just something that man had really just aspires to, but can't have. It really doesn't mean that much to me coming from man.
Yeah, that's really true. So, Matthews, when building a
Mhm.
brand, what matters more, skill, consistency, or positioning?
I would say yes. I would say all of them matter because you have to have a skill or it has to be something to relate to people when building your brand. But you have to have some consistency because you can start building it and the moment you stop, it's never going to grow. And of course, the positioning aspect because you're looking for an audience. And your brand is really what your audience thinks of you. So you have to position yourself so they can see you, so they can know you exist, so they can know what you're doing, and so they can know that you are consistent and skilled. So I think they all matter, and it's just a matter of just making sure that you have them all in play at the same time.
Oh, the both the all these all matters, but I thought about that just I think positioning matters before, but yeah, I think these all matters now.
You have great questions, by the way.
Matthews, what separates a leader who builds system from one who simply builds attention?
What, you said what separates a leader from one? You broke up a little bit.
Systems from one who build attention.
Ah, wow. Um, well, I mean, I think you can be a leader in both areas. It's just that a matter of a system is something that you can have others follow. A system is something you can implement, and you can. I always use McDonald's as an example. McDonald's has a system, Is if you walk into a McDonald's, the French, and you looking at and you're facing the counter, the French fries are always on the right, on the left side, and it doesn't matter which McDonald's you go into, they're always going to be there because they have a system in place, and doesn't matter who takes over, who's managing that restaurant. It's a system in place, and they have to run that system so you can pass it on to other people. Now, getting attention is good for the attention can be bad. Attention doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Attention can be a bad thing. There's a lot of people out there that right now that have attention that wish they didn't have it. So, I mean, attention doesn't necessarily make you a leader, and I don't even know that the two really even have go together necessarily. System as a leader, having a system in place, it definitely helps you.
Yeah, it does. So, Matthews, I want to ask you that what role does discipline play in sustaining influence over delegates?
And sustaining influence over what?
Over delegates.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, decades.
Decades. Okay,
Yeah,
decades.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, it goes back to the word you used earlier, consistency. If you can stay consistent, you can have influence over decades. And the thing is, being consistent from the very beginning may get you influence, but it doesn't mean that you will maintain it. You also have to keep up with what's happening in the world. For instance, I have a friend who was a marketing genius in marketing, but he took a year off from his business. And everybody was wondering what happened because he was very consistent. But he took a year off from doing what he normally did because he knew he had to learn how to use AI tools. And he knows AI, and now he's back and doing everything again because he wanted to make sure that he kept up with everything. And now he's still an influencer, but he made sure that he learned what was going on with the times. So that's very important.
So, Matthews, how do you build trust quickly in rooms where credibility must be earned?
Well, yeah, credibility has to be earned. It's never a given. Someone can they can try to give it to you based on a title or a name, but it won't last unless it's earned. Because you can go on someone's name. I know someone who, I'm not going to say his name, but I know someone who actually lives off of their one of their relatives' names, and it doesn't carry over. It just doesn't carry over because they haven't earned it. They're just living off of the other person's name, and it doesn't carry over for them. Even though it makes them feel good to know that that person is related to them, but it only goes so far. So you have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. You have to want to change lives and help people and do some things that make people want to take notice of you. Then you can earn that credibility.
Oh, yeah, it's actually true. So, Matthews, you have seen both traditional media control narratives and digital control, creators control.
Mhm.
They're on platforms. Which model creates more lasting influence?
Well, I mean, I gotta say, yeah, I love the way we used to do things, but the newer models on the digital platform is going longer because we're not we're in a digital age now. I mean, I know there's people who say, well, what if the grid crashes? A lot of what ifs out there, but right now the digital is where we're in, and to go back to the old way would be just as hard or harder than moving forward because a lot of people who are working today have no idea on how to work the way we used to do things.
Oh, yeah. Wow, amazing. So, Matthews, you operate at the intersection of media and money. Which one do you believe truly drives power in today's world?
Well, it's money. Money's driving everything. I mean, it's people are doing most of the things they do in life for money. Now, does that mean that you should be focused on money? No, it doesn't mean that. It's just that, as they say, money makes the world go around. It's just that you're gonna have to have money, and if you they say money is right up there with oxygen. You can't go too long without it. So it's gonna you have to have it, but I don't think you should be focused on it because it can ruin your life if you focus on it like that.
Wow, incredible, Matthews. Matthews, if you have to choose only one role, media strategist, ambassador, or advisor, which one best represents your core identity?
Hmm. You say media strategist, investor, or advisor? I would say advisor because that can take in a lot of different things I learn. And it doesn't have to be in one area. I can say, yeah, I can advise on media, I can advise on business, I can advise on a lot of different things. Advisor sounds good.
Oh, advising. That's amazing. So you did very much, you take and give advice to others. That's amazing. I like this one too. I like this one. So,
Yeah.
Matthews, I want to ask you, serving as a royal advisor in Kahana Place, are you inside a culture leadership system very different from corporate America? Which constraints stood out to you?
Well, are you asking like what about like working in the work and on my own, which is different than corporate America?
Can you repeat again? I can hear you.
Are you asking like what as far as working in the workforce on my own, is that how different is that than corporate America?
Yeah.
Corporate America is very selfish. That's the best way I can put it. Everyone is out for themselves usually. Is that how can I do what I have to do to get myself ahead? Whereas a lot of people in business for themselves, yes, I know people say, well, you're working for yourself, so you got to be selfish. No, not necessarily. Because as a business owner, you're not going to be successful unless you focus on serving other people. You have to focus on serving other people before you're doing earning anything. And if you don't do that, then it's not going to come. So corporate America is set up for people to focus on themselves, and you can see it in the workplace. And it's sad because people can do some really mean things to other people in the corporate workspace. So yeah, but I think that's the biggest difference there.
Oh, yeah, that's so much amazing, Matthews. So, Matthews, I want to ask that, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, I want to ask, if someone wants to become a trusted advisor, what one habit should they start today?
Serving, serving other people and learning from other people. The only way you can advise is to have some type of knowledge. And the only way to get the knowledge is from learning from other things and other experiences and other people. And you get that by serving. And it really is something that I don't even recommend that people seek to do. I didn't seek to be a trusted advisor for anyone. I didn't seek that, but I did seek to serve. So and service has had its rewards. So I'm just grateful for that.
So, we have to serving, but like which kind of thing?
Offering, just bringing value to relationships, bringing value to people, bringing value to situations and circumstances. Ask yourself, what can I do to make this better? Without asking, what can I get from it? Just ask, what can I do to make this better? And if you have thing, sometimes it can be something that, I introduce someone to someone that I know that they can work together. I'm not asking for anything out of it. It's just making the introduction. And you do that enough, people appreciate it, and sometimes it comes back to you in a different way. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's okay. My job was to serve, not to get something back.
Mhm. That's so amazing, Matthews. So, Matthews, moving to our last question for today's interview. So,
Hmm.
looking back at all of your roles, media leader, investor, and real advisor, which is the one piece of wisdom you want future leaders to carry with them?
I just want them to serve. That's all it is. I just want them to think about how can I serve? How can I put myself, because everyone is born with a different set of skills. Everyone. And you may think that you're the same as someone else, but you're not different. You're a you. And ask, I bring what I have, what I've been gifted with, to the situation to make it better, to improve it. Just ask that and then do it. And then once you do it, you'll see that people can be appreciative of all the things that you've brought in, and you'll see the fruits of your labor. But if you don't serve, none of that stuff really matters.
Mhm. That's true. And wow, such an amazing advice, Dr. Matthews.
Thank you.
Dr. Matthews, thank you so much for sharing your experience and lessons you have learned across media, businesses, and global leadership. Your journey shows how influence, strategy, and integrity come together to create a lasting impact. To our audience, make sure to follow Dr. Matthews and explore his work in media, entrepreneurship, and advisory leadership. It's been an honor to have you, Dr. Matthews. Thank you so much for joining us on Future Justice Talks, and
Thank
I
you.
deeply appreciate your time and wisdom today. Let's keep in touch. Thank you so
Yes.
much, and bye bye. Take
Thank
care.
you. God bless.